My father came from a generation of men who had one thing in common: avoiding emotion, at least emotions of the heart. So I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly, I wasn't thinking when I just blurted it out. My dad was 85 years old, a few years retired. We were finishing up a conversation on the phone, and I just blurted it out. "Goodbye, Dad. I love you." Now, this may not seem very strange to you, but it occurred to me at that very moment that my father never said those words to me. Now, unlike the movies, my father did not melt. He did not burst open for my outpouring of love. He did not even smile. He just said, "Yeah, ditto." I said, "Ditto? What do you mean by that, Dad?" "You know, ditto." "No, Dad, what does it mean?" "You know, I don't want to say it." We were sitting 1,000 miles apart from each other. I was in Massachusetts, he was in Florida. Our cheeks were wet with tears, our mouths were tired from smiling. Laughter was pulsating over the telephone wires. I let him off the hook, this time. My dad was 85 years old, sharp as a tack. He remembered every card that I put down on the table when I played gin with him, but he conveniently developed an acute case of amnesia every time I asked him to reply in kind with those 3 words: "I love you." And so this bantering back and forth became a regular part of our conversations. Now, when we spoke, there was a certain rhythm to it anyway. We would start off by talking about his bowling game, his tennis game, his emphysema, and his breathing, at which point he'd very distinctly turn the focus onto me. Enough about him, what about me? And then the conversation went something like this, and I will decode this for you. "How's your car running?" A very important topic to my father. "How's your social life?" He always said that he wanted to see me get married before his last days on this earth, and I would say to him, "Well, Dad, I guess I'm doing a pretty good job, because me staying single is keeping you around a little bit longer." Any work on the fire? He would always say this softly so that my mother wouldn't hear. You see, this was code for asking me for a brief report of my financial status and to see if a clandestine money transfer was necessary. And that was it. "Goodbye, Dad. I love you." "Yeah, same here." "Come on, Dad, it's not going to kill you to say it." You know what I mean." He was cracking up, I was cracking up, and I could hear him and see him as if he was sitting right in front of me with his big ears and his big nose turning beet red. "Come on, Dad, I want to hear you say it." Leave me alone already, you're nuts, you know that." "And besides, I can't, I don't want to say it in front of Mom." I said, "Oh no, you wouldn't want to show any emotion in front of her, all right." He said, "That's right." Now, my mother had supersonic hearing and an innate ability to know exactly what was going on at any point in time. And somehow, through the breathy staccato of my father's laughter, she knew exactly what we were talking about. And I could hear her in the background saying, "Good luck getting him to show any emotion." But when she left the room, I heard the voice on the other side of the line saying, "Yeah, okay, I love you." He was cracking up, all right, but he was also cracking open. This was big news, headline news for my family. I went and I told my sister. She said, "He never told me that he loved me." "You never asked," I replied. One year on Father's Day, I said, "You know, Dad, I was going to get you a card that said, 'I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.'" "That's your line." "No, Dad, that's your line." Yeah, that's okay, good night." But he was cornered. My mother was in the room with him, I was on the phone with him, and in front of my mother, he said, "Yeah, okay, I love you. You see, Evie, I said it." And I could hear my mother in the background saying, "I can't believe it. I'm giving him a big kiss for you." Now, I don't know exactly when it happened, but there came a time, a moment, when I realized what I had done. "Goodbye, Dad. I love you. I love you. You know I do. I always have, I always will. I love all my kids, you know that. And as I hung up the phone and let the couch envelop me and let the tears run down my face, I realized that the crack had opened fully. 5 years passed since I've started this bantering with my father, and he was turning 90. And we made him a great surprise birthday party. Everything about it was perfect. There was a cake with a tennis theme, party favors, and a special party hat for the birthday boy. Even the look on his face as he entered the room and screamed without saying a word, "What the hell is going on here?" was perfect. After the meal, people gave tribute to my father, and I was the last one to go. And I fumbled my way through a list of things I thought were important to say. But I didn't need a script for the grand finale. I turned to my father. "Okay, Dad, are you ready? We've been practicing for 5 years. We've been waiting for this very moment for 5 years. Are you ready?" He nodded at me. He knew exactly what I meant. "I love you, Dad. I love you." And that room burst into cheers as 50 people witnessed this opening in my father. And no one needed any explanation. Everyone knew my dad. Now, back then, and even still today, I so appreciate that shape-shifting father of mine as he aged and mellowed. And perhaps what this story is about is that a little chutzpah goes a long ways. Or maybe it's that sometimes we have to just go for things without thinking. And you know, I still have this conversation with my father, even today, even decades after his last days on this earth. Only now, I talk to the moon. And it's as if the light reflecting off the moon fills the empty places in my heart. And sometimes, as I'm walking along, I can hear my father's voice whispering in my ear, "I love you. I always have. I always will."